All right, guys, this video is all about ad copies. So you just learned about targeting, you've got your avatars down, you know exactly who you're speaking to. So let's make sure that the written word in our ads is compelling to this audience.
All right, guys, let's talk about ad copy. So the number one rule, and really the biggest mistake that I see people making with ad copy, especially on Facebook, is that they make it all about them or their product or service. And when you're just talking about how great you are or your product or service is, number one, it's obvious that the consumer is being sold to, right? So it's going to trigger that I'm being sold to, I need to keep scrolling or I need to X away that feeling, right? But it's also not building that relationship. And that's really what we want to do through ad copy, is to pique someone's interest and to really build that relationship so that they do want to take the next steps with us. So number one rule when you're writing ad copy, always remind yourself, I do this too, this is not about you. And when you write, it needs to be about your prospects and customers. That's what this is about. So I always tell people, like, yes, I'm the same way. I get so pumped up about my stuff. And it's like, I get that your book, your podcast, product, event, service is awesome. And you just want to stand, on the top of the mountain and scream about it. But people don't know why that relates to them, right? So this is really your consumer saying, let's not talk about the features of what you're doing. Let's really talk about why it matters to them. So keep this in mind as we go through this video. So here's a great example. Hello, Austin. I do like that they said hello, Austin, and called out their audience. Imperfect is offering Austin residents 50% off your first box of produce with promo code. Each box is fully customizable, delivered to your door, and a bite out of food waste. Pre-order today. Now, this ad isn't terrible, but I'm really disappointed by this. So this is a company that's delivering produce to your door, right? They talk about that, and they do hint on it taking a bite out of food waste. But instead of just saying, hey, we're offering this, buy it with this coupon code, you could have gone so much deeper into really convincing this person that this is something that they should purchase, right? Even by talking about not having to go to the grocery store, right? Or not being able to rely on the produce at your local grocery store, saving time. The image could have been this beautiful box of produce sitting on someone's doorstep. So instead, they just kind of told us that this offer was available, but they didn't tell us why it mattered to us. That is what makes someone a great marketer. Same thing here, Heap. This is a software. Track every action users take on your site, every click, swipe, and page view. Record everything users do on your site. Used by Salesforce and 4,000 other companies. Okay, cool. I get that you have authority and I get that your tool records things on sites, but why didn't you take it a step further to actually tell the audience why that matters to them, right? They could optimize their website to get more leads and customers. They can make their user experience on their website a lot easier for visitors. There are so many other benefits that could have come to light here in this ad versus just talking about what the software does. So this is what not to do. We really need to come up with marketing hooks, is what we call them. And hooks are the compelling reasons that encourages a prospect or customer to take the action you're requesting. So you want to make sure that the ad copy variations that you're testing, that what's different about them is that you're testing different hooks, different reasons, compelling reasons that encourage a prospect or customer to take the action you're requesting, not just listing out the features of your product. And then your ad copy is simply the articulation of that hook, right? Which is also done through the ad creative, as we'll talk about in the next video. So your copy should always explain why your offer is something that the market wants. So we want to make sure that we quickly convey the why. Why does this matter in the market? We also want to ensure that we're relevant to our target market. So this is where it can be very important to read Amazon reviews or to be a part of forums so that you can understand the language that someone is using in that market, right? I recently moved to Colorado, and being introduced to the skiing and snowboarding market, it's like learning a new language, right? I have to ask all the time what stuff means. And if I wanted to sell to that market, I would definitely need to know what a POW dump is, right? I would need to know how to speak to them so that I don't sound like an outsider. And then last but definitely not least, we don't want to look like an ad. This doesn't work on Facebook anymore. Super flash sale, 30% off, buy now, all caps. It just doesn't work. And the reason for that is because in the last few years, Facebook's added something called the relevance score, which I'm going to show you. And this is a score out of 10 that Facebook gives every ad. And the higher your relevance score, the more reach you're going to get. And the lower your relevance score, the less reach and the more expensive your traffic will be. There are a few things that go into calculating the relevance score, which, as I said, is at the ad level here. So you can see relevance score right here, it's a 9. This is really good for my friends at Code and Quill, a 9 out of 10. That's why this campaign is succeeding for them. Their goal cost per acquisition is about $30, and this is 2/3 of that. And a big portion of what affects your campaign success is the relevance score. And it's calculated based off of, first, social proof. So how many people are liking, sharing, and commenting on your post? And especially sharing is ranked really high. And if you can have a sharing percentage of over 50% compared to likes, so if you had 100 likes and 50 shares, that is really good in Facebook's eyes, because if your ad is good enough that people don't only like it, but they share it, this must be a really good ad that users like to see. Facebook wants to show good ads to their users so that they stay on Facebook. So that is really where the relevance score comes from. So relevance score has a lot to do with ad copy, because if you're getting relevance score is also affected by people marking your ad as spam, right? It's also affected by click-through rate, how many people are actually clicking through your ad. And so all of these metrics are combined to create this relevance score. And so this is really important when we're talking about ad copy, because what I'm finding is that the more conversational that the ad copy can be, whether you're telling a story or whether you're just relating to the audience, the more that your ad looks like a personal post that really relates to your market, the higher your relevance score, because the more social proof that it's going to get. And social proof is so important. So you want to keep that in mind as we're going through ad copy and ad creative, that you're not being too salesy, that you're actually writing ad copy that people enjoy reading so much that they want to share with their friends. If you do that, you will win on Facebook advertising. So this is a slide that I got from Ryan that I love. But it says a great sales message simply articulates the shift or transformation from the before state to the after state. So if you keep this in mind in any marketing copy that you write, you're gonna have a good time in marketing, because not only are we speaking to pains and benefits, but we're speaking to this change that this person is going to have as a result of taking whatever action we're asking them to take. So keep this in mind as we go through these ad copy variations. And before we go through this, I just wanted to tell you what's coming. So I have 11 ad copy chunks that I'm going to show you. And the point of this is that there's a lot of different ways to write ad copy, but media buyers can get exhausted coming up with new ideas. And so these are copy chunks, so beginnings of sentences and structured ad copy that you guys can use to just come up with ideas for your ad copy, right? It also shows you how many different ways there are to say the same thing. And that's also what's really important when writing ad copy, to remember that although you're targeting, a market, say it's a pond of fish, and maybe all of those fish are interested in cooking, they've all had very different life experiences and they're very different people. Even though they all like cooking, some might be more emotional, some might be more logical, some might respond to more motivational messages, right? So using different ad copy variations, even when speaking to the same transformation, can really allow you to scale and to make sure you're reaching everyone in that market. And for those of you guys that don't know, for most Facebook ads, this is the structure really. So you've got what's called newsfeed text up here. So this is from a makeup company. Want to get a fresh-faced and youthful glow with only 3 products. So that's their hook, right? They only have 3 products. You don't have to have a big bag of makeup. Watch this video to reveal makeup artist Katie's tricks to complete this look. So the offer, the copy, should be the vehicle to the after solution, right? So it's like, if you want this, here is the solution. And then I always use the headline and the subhead to really reiterate this hook that I've presented at the top. So fresh-faced and glowing using only 3 products, right? This may become your new go-to. 3 steps to glowing. So just to quickly cover that so you have some context when we get into these copy chunks. So here's the first copy chunk, and you'll notice that in black, I have black and blue. These are color coded. So this is the name of the copy chunk. And then you can see that the black is more of the before state and the blue is more of the after state. So I try to make sure that I structure my copy so that it reflects that before and after state dynamic. So pain benefit. I love this this ad copy chunk because this is really my default, right? Because it really reflects that before and after. So if you say things like ever wish or tired of or are you struggling to, those are great ways to open up your ad copy to really speak to a pain. And then rounding it out with do this, get this, and get, learn, understand whatever benefit you're promising. So call to action and the after state is here. Of course, you can add other sentences to this. You can flesh this out more. But just thinking about this in a structural way will make sure that you're really speaking to that before and after. So this is a great example from the dogtrainingsecret.com. Does your dog get way too excited and out of control when he sees something he wants in his environment? So he's opening up with a pain point, right? And if you have a dog that does get out of control, you're like, yes, I know what you're talking about. Watch this video to discover one clever trick for how to finally start teaching your dog to calm down on command. So pain, benefit, and call to action. This is a perfect example. Look at the number of shares here. This is why this ad is so successful. This relevance score is very high because the social proof is great. And that's because he's made it conversational and he's solving a huge problem for a lot of people. Same thing, just different form, or same form, just different topic. Ever wish you could stop your dog barking so much when he gets excited? Watch this video and discover an easy exercise that will fix that problem. So same exact format, it just instead of getting excited, we're talking about barking. Right? Great examples of this pain benefit. And again, this share to like ratio is great. It's why these ads are working so well. All right. The second is have. So this is really speaking to what someone would have after they take this action that they didn't have before. I love running ads that allow people to imagine something. So having blank, right, is blank. So, having sweaty armpits is embarrassing, right? But really having them imagine what this before state is that they're in. That's why we made blank, right? This shirt that prevents pit stains. Grab this shirt and never worry about your, underarm sweat again, right? But instead of speaking necessarily to the pain benefit, we're talking about having those pit stains, how that feels, and tying that into why we made whatever our call to action is have. Having dead grass and weeds in your yard isn't a good look. Want a gorgeous green lawn instead? We can help. Right. So imagine that you're, a local yard company. This is really good ad copy to use because before they have dead grass, they don't like that. And afterwards, they want this green lawn. And the solution is to hire that company. So this is where I got the idea for the pit stain shirt, but I wish their ad copy would have been better. So imagine if this was the image, but the ad copy was what I dictated earlier. Everyone sweats, but not everyone has to see it. I like this. They're speaking to the have and what this shirt would do, but they could have gone a little farther there. All right. Third is feel. So this is going to speak to anyone who is empathetic, right? People that are more feeling based. So are you feeling blank because of blank? Are you feeling embarrassed because of sweating, right? Are you feeling anxious because of the big test you have coming up? That's why we made, this study guide, right? Download this study guide and ace this test, carefree. Right? So again, pretty much the same before and after. We're just speaking more to the feeling. How does it feel? How does it feel better afterward? Great ad copy variation. Organifi, 6 months from now, when people come up to you and ask, what have you been doing? I want some of that, whatever it is, you look amazing. You can't put a price on that feeling, right? So they're really speaking to feelings. They're also using a little bit of social proof here, right? What others will think of you, but they're really bringing it back to how that will feel, even though they're selling juice. This is an ad from a company called Talkspace. It was a carousel ad, and this is e-counseling. And I thought this was brilliant. It says, swipe left to start feeling happier. How can you not do that, right? Try Talkspace to chat about your broken heart. Try Talkspace to talk all about your stressful day. Try Talkspace to get it all off your chest, right? So they're really speaking to how this feels for the end user. Every offer has a before and after feeling. All right. Number 4 is average days. So how is whatever you're asking these people to do, how is it improving their average day to day? So maybe you're selling a toothbrush that saves them 5 minutes, a day, right? That they can spend doing other stuff. Right? Tired of spending so long brushing your teeth, right? Or tired of spending so long mowing your yard, right? Tired of wasting your Saturdays on lawn work? Hire us and have your weekends back. Hire us and, spend time with your kids. So again, really similar before and after. Now we're just speaking more to the average day, right? How does this improve their average day? So a great example from Hired. If you're counting down the hours until you get to leave the office, it might be time for a change. With over 3,500 companies on Hired, find one that you're passionate about. Get more out of your work-life balance. So this copy and this creative directly speaks to the work-life balance, right? And anyone who wants more of a life balance, that is a huge, that will definitely benefit their average day. So great example of that. Another one from Home Chef. Big news. Let us introduce a totally new way to enjoy meal kits, our new 5-minute lunches. So I don't even have to read any longer because that is the huge average day benefit here. 5-minute lunches, right? It's great for anyone who is short on time. This is so much better than, hey, grab a salad for lunch, right? This 5-minute lunch, that's what gives it a marketing hook. All right, 5 is status. So this is going to speak to anyone who might, their ego might be coming out more in that moment, or someone that really cares about status. Almost every product has a way that you can speak about it in terms of how it would elevate your status. So for example, at Digital Marketer, we were selling courses, and then we added the test and started selling certifications, because then someone could say that they were a certified paid traffic specialist, right? Versus just saying, I went through this course. So really think about status. So great ways to write that ad copy are things like wanna be blank, right? And I've got some good examples of this. Become a blank and achieve this desired end result. So Third Love, they sell women's undergarments. This is the third one I've purchased. It really is the most comfortable, well-fitting bra ever. I've since gotten rid of all my Victoria's Secrets bras, and I'm slowly replacing them with these. So that is where the status comes in here. They're positioning themselves as a step above one of the marketing leaders in status. Really brilliant. All right, number 6 is relevance. So anytime that you can tie what you're talking about to a current event, a holiday, where someone lives, or just anything related to them is a good way to relate with them. Right? So, it's Valentine's Day. Therefore, you should, buy flowers for your girlfriend, right? That's a great example of using relevance in your ad copy. So this is from Blazer Tag. It's a laser tag company in Austin. And this was a brilliant ad I saw them running. It says, looks like rain all weekend long. Let Blazer Tag save the day for all those outdoor birthday parties. So this ad has a lot of optimization opportunities, but what is brilliant is the relevance of this ad. It was raining in Austin, and they're coming in to solve a problem for people based off of the weather. Really smart. So at DM, we had these email template lead magnets. And what I did is I targeted specific email service providers and called them out, right? Use MailChimp, copy and paste this 3-part email series to get more opens, clicks, and sells. That works so well because it felt very relevant to these people, whether they used MailChimp or Salesforce or whatever email service provider we were targeting. This is a good example of seasonal. Hosting friends this summer, try our new multi-course dinner party box, right? So just acknowledging that it's summertime and that people are having dinner parties. Plated, same thing, speaking to the weather, can't stand the heat, get in the kitchen and save 40% off. All great examples of relevance. So number 7 is tell a story, and this one is really effective, especially for getting that social proof. So this can be done in any way you want. The first one up here that you see is more a first person, so you just telling a story. You could also show a conversation between 2 people to get your point across, or it could be in third person talking about someone else, and then wrapping it up with, can you relate to get that micro commitment? So this is a good example of Marketo showing a conversation, right? So the salesperson says, marketing isn't giving us the right leads. And the marketing gal says, we're giving sales plenty of leads and they're not calling them. And then the therapist says, I'm going to prescribe ABM. So they just got their point across that this product, ABM, solves the war between sales and marketing just by showing a conversation between a few people. This is the personal brand Drew Canoli. He owns Organifi that I showed you earlier. And this ad is a great example of a story. 5 years ago, I had my very first green juice and it changed my life. I started feeling better, had more energy, curbed my cravings, and experienced the most radical transformation, right? So telling his story to drive interest. This is more of a testimonial, but Panda Planner is a client. And I took this testimonial from a mom, right? My mom life is more organized with the Panda Planner. I have one place to keep appointments, blah, blah, blah. It's also nice to keep up with cleaning around the house. It keeps me accountable. I love that the dates are not printed. I love Panda Planner. She uses it for meal planning. This is their most successful ad to date. And it's because it's real. It's a story that someone's telling about how they use this product. All right, number 8 is analogies. So this is any time that you're trying to explain what it is that you're selling, right? So it's like blank for blank, right? Like it's like Airbnb for dogs. If you can come up with a quick analogy, that helps people immediately conceptualize the benefit for them, what your product or service is. So here's an example, Airbnb for dogs. I immediately knew what that meant when I saw this ad from Dog Vacay. All right, 9, comparisons. So this is another great way to get your point across. So comparing whatever you're asking them to do to a known thing that they're already aware of, right? So, Blue Apron does a good job here. One night out is $60. 1 week of Blue Apron, $60. Just from that comparison side by side in the image, I immediately, logically now must choose Blue Apron, because why would I spend that much money on a few drinks that are going to make me feel like crap when I could get a week of food? Really, really smart comparison. Same thing here with Home Chef, right? This is their meal. It looks nice. It's cheaper. This doesn't look so nice. It's more expensive, right? If you think steak dinners are out of your price range, think again. Another great comparison. Same thing with Home Chef. We've expanded our menu to 18 weekly choices, giving you more variety to love. That's 100% more choices than each of Blue Ribbon and HelloFresh's best-selling plans. So Home Chef, 100% more choices, right? It's even showing this to you visually versus Blue Apron and HelloFresh. They're positioning themselves against their competitors in the number of choices that you have visually. Great comparison here. And if you're in a highly competitive market, do something like this. It will help set you apart. All right. And number 10, novelties. So if you have a product or service that's a new concept, use ad copy like this. Did you know that you could blank? Right? Here's how it works. You'll also, get these benefits. Go do it. So Survival Life. First we'll talk about this wine delivery company. So this is a pretty novel idea that wine shows up at your doorstep, right? So stop going to the store. We deliver personalized wines to your doorstep. This is a really novel idea. Same thing with Survival Life. This is a match or a lighter that is waterproof, and this video plays and the water is coming down on the flame. That is a really novel idea. This waterproof lighter is essential for any survivalist. So if you have a novel product that's something people haven't seen before, call that out in your ad copy. All right, guys. And then last but not least, logic. So this is going to appeal to people that are more logical, or at least in that moment, people that love stats and facts, and they want to make the most logical decision. So I've had a lot of success opening an ad with a fact or a stat that proves a point that I'm trying to make. And then, learn to take advantage of that, right? Whatever I'm proving here. And then making my call to action. So with this email formula I was trying to get people to opt into, instead of saying, hey, get more opens, clicks, and sales, I said the average adult receives 147 emails a day. As a business owner, you're like, wow, in my marketing, I'm really competing against a lot of people, right? What are you doing to stand out in the inbox? We're using logic to really get someone in the mindset to know that they need to take the next action. B-Chart, this is a company that prints beautiful photos on recycled canvases, recycled plastic. So what I did is I found this quote from USA Today. The Great Pacific Garbage Patch, a collection of plastic floating trash halfway between Hawaii and California, has grown to more than 600,000 square miles. So now you immediately know that this is a problem, right? And you want to buy one of these recycled plastic canvases. Another example of logic. Organifi, they're logicking you a time. 30 minutes a day, 3.5 hours a week, 15 hours a month, 182 hours a year saved when you juice with Organifi. So they're just showing the logic of using their juice versus buying all of the stuff individually. So guys, those were your 11 ad copy chunks. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. Ad copy is something that definitely takes time, but I created the ad copy chunks just to give you somewhere to start. So, for your product or service that you're wanting to market, sit down, look through the 11 copy chunks and pick 3 or 4 that you think most relate, that most show how awesome your call to action is, and get writing. So thanks again, guys, for listening, and I will see you in the next video.